evening, everybody.
Hello.
You're joining us tonight for Shadow Paranormal's Halloween Livescream. We're going to be talking about all things paranormal, things spooky, talk to you about where we've been recently, some of our experiences, and most importantly, if anybody's got any questions they'd like to ask us or anything they'd like us to discuss, then the comment section is open for you, and we'll do our best. We also have a little competition.
Oh yes.
Yeah, we do.
So,
with prizes.
with prizes. Prize number 1, Shadow Paranormal mug. Yeah.
Very.
Shall I open up the competition page for
Yeah,
you?
yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go through our other prizes first of all.
Right. And then look, Shadow Paranormal's finest t-shirt there.
And it is very fine.
It is very fine.
They came in fresh today, didn't they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My favourite one of all, Shadow Paranormal's calendar. So I'll give you a quick glimpse of a
I'll whack it back to the
couple
video so you can
pages.
show a bit closer.
February. You see that there? Very lovely. Let's start, something fun. April. My favourite one of all is, let me find it for
There
you.
is a little bit on the calendar as well, there's a little bit of information on each place as well.
Yeah. August. It's a very good month, August.
Someone's birthday, isn't it?
It's my child's birthday.
Oh.
But yeah, these are some of the prizes that you can...
Oh, we've got Mary.
Grab yourself now.
Hello.
Hello.
Hello, Mary.
Yes, so to win those prizes,
Yes.
we're going to be playing you a clip, and we'd like you to guess, or see if you can guess what episode or what place that particular clip comes from. So, James, shall we reveal the
Yeah,
clip?
reveal the clip.
Just let us know in the comment section where you think this was filmed.
Yes. So.
You can look back in the comments as well.
Yeah.
Yeah. So here we go. Here's the clip.
Who are you? We know there is someone here in this room and in this fort. What was that?
Move your infrared light.
No, the noise.
Someone definitely fucking walks that way.
Yeah.
Outside?
Yeah, a black shadow. That's why I thought it was the.
No, this
reflecting off
doesn't
the-
let off any light.
That door moved, and something moved in front of the light.
That was well creepy. I remember that.
Like the torch dipped out there behind me.
So there we go.
Yeah.
We'll run that a few times as
It's
well.
a good thing you didn't put the location name in the title.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's the competition. If you can guess where that was filmed, what episode it was, then you're in for a chance of winning these wonderful prizes. That I was going to actually just talk about the place, but I thought no, that will.
That would give it away though, won't it?
That was a
really
weird experience. But
yeah.
recently, last few months, we've been filming new episodes. We've got about 6 or 7 in the bag, ready to go out. Hopefully next month we're beginning to put our new series out. One of the most recent ones we went to was Petworth Chapel.
Yes.
That was one of all the years we've been doing this. That's one of the weirdest places we've been to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Considering as well, it was just a shell of a building. There's just a few walls there, no roof or anything.
Yeah.
For somewhere that's that kind of
Yeah.
derelict to be so creepy.
Oh yeah, we actually went to the Petworth Chapel, but we found a place called the Bedham School, which is in the woods. So it wasn't actually the chapel where.
That's what I'm
these
thinking of.
experiences-
Yeah, Bedham School.
It's basically, like I say, it's a ruin of a sort of church slash.
It looks a bit like it could have been like an old sort of small Sunday school.
Yeah.
Vibe to it,
Yeah, it was used as Sunday school, but that's all abandoned. It's just a ruin.
It's got your mum and KRT 15.
Good evening.
Hello.
So it was this little ruined chapel in the woods, and like you say, that was considering that wasn't the main purpose of going out that way. We'd gone to go to the Petworth Chapel, and we thought, we'll stop here because it's.
That was
not
just
far away.
like a small, one that was in the same area, just to have a look to see. I would check it out. Having the Petworth Chapel as the main one, and oh my god, it was better than the Petworth Chapel. I think
from
what we got from there.
instance. No, that's not the right word. From the
Get-go.
instant of us
from the
being
start.
there, from the get-go, the vibe it was just giving off was really creepy, and I think it being in the middle of a forest.
Hello, Vicky.
Hello, Vicky. There's no houses like that close. Do you know what I mean? It was just literally so isolated.
James wearing a bit of makeup. A little
No,
bit.
no.
Today I come dressed as a juggalo.
Yeah, you are.
A
Oh,
little
I
bit.
just noticed.
He's got a little bit of eyeliner.
A little
on.
bit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've got a little less hair as well now.
Oh,
as well,
yeah.
so- It's going to be strange watching these videos because it's
Oh,
going
yeah.
to seem like it's years
Yeah.
ago that I was
Yeah.
watching them. Back when my hair was long.
Yeah, the good old
Before I
days.
wore makeup.
Yeah, lost your powers.
Yeah.
But yeah, that the Bedham School, and it just goes to show that sometimes the places you least expect things to happen, because like I say, that was just out of the blue. Oh, it's nearby. We'll go and have a look.
Yeah.
And sometimes the places you least expect things are where you get a lot of strange activity happen.
We've had a lot of places over the years as well where it's like, it looks like the ideal horror film, haunted house setting for something, and you get nothing. Like not a sausage all night.
Yeah.
And then you can just go to, for instance, the railway crossing place. That we
yeah,
went
that
to.
was on the Ghost
Something
Dogs
like
road
that.
trip.
Yeah.
Yeah.
On the road trip. That was a place that was just like, well, you'd be there in the daytime, for instance, it'd just be a railway crossing and fields on either side. But at night time, being there on your own, like the whole atmosphere of that place completely changed. And there was a bunch of places we've been to like that as well. But again, like the opposite way as well, where you go to a place and it's like, oh, this is definitely is the one where we've got spooky vibes about this one already, and there's nothing the whole night.
Yeah, well, you say again, like, I mean, undoubtedly places do take on a different persona under the cover of darkness. But that's something that's always fascinated me, is with the dark, is it does that heighten any of our senses, obviously, because you're limited on sight, you're relying more on your other senses. Certainly I think you can feel a lot more minute changes in the environment. When you take your sight away, that's just happens naturally. But I've always been intrigued as to whether the dark enhances activity or whether it just enhances our senses of things.
I think it enhances like your fear and your awareness of your surroundings.
Yeah.
So when it's dark, you're trying to concentrate more on what you can see rather than what you can't see.
Yeah.
So you are, I would say, like your ears and stuff like that. Those sort of senses are definitely more heightened because you're trying to focus on that what you can't see. So,
But as people always say as well, why do you investigate at night? And there was a handful of reasons actually.
One of the reasons, if we were doing it in the day, we'd look a lot like weirdos.
Yeah,
But, you know.
yeah, that's true actually. Yeah. Well, we've done that before. I've been places and then you just get people walking their dog walk past and sort of have to act a little bit normal.
I think there is like an element as well of like, if we go and film at a place at night time, because it is dark, it creates, I mean, you could say this is a reason for us like having stuff happen, is it creates like a mindset of where we're kind of more expecting things to happen.
Yeah, you're more focused.
And so it's hard to kind of differentiate between, is that mindset the thing that's drawing stuff towards us, or is it a case of, because we're in that mindset and we're expecting stuff to happen, that we are by chance going like, this thing's happened, maybe it's paranormal. But we do try and debunk stuff as well.
Everywhere we go, if something happens, we try and put a logic or a reason behind it. Like our first response isn't to go, oh, it's a ghost.
No.
You know, we go, that could be a car, or there are bats nesting, it could be a bat, or anything like that.
As I say, a lot of the time as well, there's a reason we want to try and debunk it, because if it turns out that is something paranormal going on, the sense of fear goes up quite a bit more.
Yeah.
So it's our rationality kind of coming
and that's one thing I'm most proud about the group as well, is that like right from the start we've never ever kind of deviated from trying to get to some kind of rational explanation. And even with the videos, like half the stuff doesn't actually, get into the video. There's like parts of it where we're working out rational explanations for things and they never end up in the videos. So you only, on the episodes, you only really see a portion of what goes on. But the whole time there's always stuff. You hear a noise, you see something, and it's just straight away you go down that route of what was that. I mean, the amount of times you said like, can you just move your camera about to see if there's a shadow moving on? Just little things like that.
The endless amount of disappointment of, wait, move your camera. Oh, it's just the camera.
Yeah, because sometimes like the infrared like bounces off each other and like it can create like a shadow or something. Yeah,
it does bounce in kind of weird ways.
Yeah.
To be honest, I think you put it best there. It is one of the most disappointing hobbies.
It's like It's even like more disappointing than maybe fishing or something. Like at least with fishing, if you don't catch anything,
Yeah, you want
like,
to do what you don't. You don't catch a fish and go, is that a fish or is it?
Is it? Yeah.
It isn't. Or it
I mean,
isn't.
for me.
We have a question, by the way.
Oh, okay, go on.
From Emma Stapleton. Do you think that ghosts / spirits and other paranormal phenomena are tied to a specific location, or do you think that they can travel wherever they want, or do you think it depends on the circumstances?
That's an interesting one.
There's almost 2 questions in that.
So, I'll go first. I think that, I want to say like 9 times out of 10, a spirit will stay in the location that, or around the location that they perhaps died at, or their last memory was. So, I don't necessarily think, but then I know people who have said that, you know, spirits have followed them from house to house as they've moved.
Yeah.
But that could be because there's a personal connection. So if it's like a loved one or like a family member that's died, they will follow you wherever you go.
But then, I mean, it could be quite tricky to tell, like, how are you going to tell apart if you've got a spirit? The spirit that's at this hospital is the same one that's at my house because it followed me, or is that 2 separate ones?
Yeah. It's difficult, and because a lot of the time paranormal events are so they're quite vague. You never get a full picture of what's really going on at a place. It's not like you can say this place is haunted by such and such a person. You get ideas and little glimpses as to maybe what consciousness is there.
It's to do with the history. So if we go somewhere that has a lot of history to it, like you could say, oh, well, Henry VIII walks these walls because that's where he spent most of his time, you know. But like if you go to like when we went to the asylum, that could be anyone from a patient who was there, a doctor who was there, like a visitor, you know, because I believe that certain buildings will hold on to like.
Well, that's the thing. I mean, again, it is all speculation, but the way that I see it in my mind is almost these buildings and these places acts like a film projector.
Yeah.
And
you think it's sort of stone tape theory?
Yeah, to an extent. Whether, I mean, obviously sometimes these places do seem to have some kind of intelligence in terms of they're aware of you. It's not like just a film being replayed over and over again. But I think, I certainly think that buildings act as a film projector and project little elements of things they've recorded in the past, definitely. As for like travelling, it's difficult because you could, by that logic, you could have the same person haunted multiple places, but would it then be the same? This is getting really deep for a
This is literally the first question as well.
These are the kinds of conversations we have all sat at the pub.
Yeah, this
is
3 o'clock in the morning.
It would be whether that's the same consciousness or whether that are 2 separate consciousnesses. What's the plural?
Consciousnesses.
Is that the plural? Yeah. It would be 2 different separate consciousnesses, but of the same person. So it depends how you look at it. And I think to answer that question, we'd need to learn a little bit more about what ghosts are in the first place to really have any idea. But certainly, I think that's our general view on it.
What do you think of, like, say paranormal phenomena, ghost spirits? I think, what do you think about like extra things from maybe ghosts and spirits, sort of alien encounters and things like that?
It's. I'm interested in UFOs and all that stuff anyway, but I mean I never go out looking for them because the sky's a big place.
Well, for instance, so I was going to say, like with alien encounters, for instance, they still sort of happen anywhere.
Yeah.
They can happen at any point. Like even at this point, we don't really know if a case of like a spirit is something that happens at specific locations or if it's something that can sort of appear wherever.
I mean, we've discussed it before, haven't we? Where we go to a location and sometimes it's dead and sometimes it's active, and we thought about
Sophie Facecam.
Sophie Facecam, and we thought about whether or not certain times of the year can affect like paranormal activity, and you know, does certain things happen on certain days, certain occasions, you know, stuff like that. So I mean,
well, it's certainly, even going back to the dark thing, why we go at night and does stuff happen more in the dark. It's like you could look at it in the way that, and people say, oh, it's a bit ridiculous that they don't come out at night or they only come out in dark winters even. But then you look at it and like you look at animals, like who's to say these events aren't nocturnal by their nature, same as some animals are.
We talked before about the idea of, I can't remember how deep we went into it, but the idea of, you know, how over a year or so they have like a time shift.
This was interesting, yeah.
So a case of like if you have 50 years or so, you have that sort of time shift over that period of time, and so by the time that it gets to where we are now, potentially the spirits are kind of operating in a day cycle, as opposed to, if you consider things like leap years and like clocks going backwards and forwards and stuff.
Yeah, so definitely that. But then you've got to think as well. Like, do like forces take note of our? Is it a Gregorian calendar?
Yeah, it'd be whichever
Well,
one.
that's another thing.
Ghosts take no note
This
of.
Yeah. Another thing is that something that could be, like you say, 50 years for us could only be a few hours in.
Like a snippet in time that's playing.
Like we don't know
Oh.
how. You know what I mean? So,
That's a really good point, because I thought that the other day.
Just to say, I think we're going to need a longer stream than 2 hours of this. So we're going to. I think we could go on this for 6 hours.
Yeah. No, I was thinking the other day, like our concept of time is based on change.
What we know.
Yeah, clocks,
Like,
and that's our concept of time. So 5 minutes to us feels like 5 minutes. But I suppose.
And I should do it.
Yeah. But I
Fill
suppose.
out form.
Yeah, that does drag on. That's a good half hour. That. But I suppose if you're, we measure time by change.
Ooh, we've got an interesting. We've got Emma Stapleton saying, so maybe they're in their time and seeing us as ghosts.
Yeah.
maybe.
There was an
That is a
episode of
possibility.
I don't know how legit they are, but of Most Haunted. There was one episode where they were doing a séance at like an old Victorian house or something, and during the séance they managed to get like responses from some sort of spirit that was there, and the spirit basically communicated that it could see them,
Yeah.
but it was communicating to them from the future,
Right.
which was a really like, it seems like such a weird thing to come out with
Yeah.
on that episode, that like, oh, this ghost isn't like Henry VIII, and he's
Yeah.
come to the table and he's having a chat with us.
Yeah.
Oh, he's back in his time, and none of what we're wearing or anything is weird to him at all.
Yeah.
But for them to say that this is something from the future that is observing us, it's almost like that whole idea of like working in different points in time.
Yeah.
Potentially, there are spirits that are actual things from the future that
Certainly.
are communicating back in time.
I mean,
Like,
if you-
same way we would say that normally we'd be communicating with ghosts from the
Well,
past.
yeah, because we are in the present.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
if we communicate with the spirit from the past, it's the future.
Well, that's the thing. It all
So-
comes down to perspective
Yeah.
as well. Because I always think if you're a ghost and you're haunting somewhere, surely you get bored.
Yeah.
Like if you were there for years and years and years, you just get fed up. But then you think, well, what if their concept of time isn't the same as
Yeah.
ours?
Hmm.
That's what I mean for them. Like that's what I mean by us saying 50 years is a few hours for them. Because
Yeah.
otherwise, I think if you were a spirit and you were, going about your spiritly business at the same time as like present
So if you
time,
can.
it would get boring. But yeah, I just think.
Yeah, but that's for the future stuff as well. That's if you look at it from a logical standpoint. if you look at it in theory, like if you go into space time and quantum physics and all that, in theory, if it goes stuff from the past, then the future works exactly the same kind of way. Obviously, it'd be different because what we said about buildings being projectors and stuff, that would counteract to that. But I think there's lots of different elements that play with hauntings. I don't think it's all one type of thing happening.
We have another question, by the way, as well.
Okay.
So from BungleZip2, do you think wet weather, lakes, rivers can help improve activity in a property near such bodies of water? So if you've got a house that's next to a river, or if you've got a moat around a castle or something, bodies of water, are they helping to conduit spirits through
Yeah.
them? I've heard a lot of talk about
Yeah.
it before.
Well, I think it's always been quite, especially if you go to sort of pagan rituals and
Yeah.
things such as that, a lot of stuff with water is seen as having a connection with the spirit world.
You get lots of like haunted wells and stuff
Yeah,
as well.
yeah. I mean, there's some like belief systems that spirits can't cross flowing water, or that it's like it contains it somehow. But I mean, I've not seen any real increase in activity in places with water around them. But then again, it's not something I've always been conscious of.
No, it's not something we've specifically paid attention to. We'll go to a location and be like, oh, it's got water, so this place could be more haunted. Like, that's not something
Yeah.
that we've really
It's
thought
something to
about.
keep an eye open for, though.
say that, but I'm sure there was somewhere we went that had like a river or something, or it had. Like, there's been a few places that have had underground flowing water with drains and stuff, and we've tended to get more activity near those sorts of locations. Oh, it was the factory in Glensford.
That was one point.
At the factory in Glensford that we filmed years and years ago.
That was like our first.
That was
a trio, kind of like.
we filmed that, and we filmed Ghost Stops episode 3 there as well.
I think that must have been back in about 2013.
So whenever we've gone to film there, a lot of the stuff that we would pick up is audio anomalies and things. But in hindsight, I'm not sure if that could be because at that location they have a lot of open holes in the ground that runs up, or they used to. It's not down now, but they used to have a lot of open holes in the ground that would have flowing water running underneath. It might be a case of that flowing water is creating like a sound matrix that we're picking out sounds within. Same way as if you listen to white noise and you should start hearing voices or sounds within the white noise. Same thing happens with water if you've got it running and like whooshing about. But I remember when we were there, we always used to get audio anomalies. And the strange thing is, a lot of those audio anomalies, because you would be there and you have a constant sound of that like shh or water flowing, you could kind of differentiate between if it's water, if it's something else. A lot of times, the audio anomalies we picked up were things that were not water. We had like women singing, people
and
laughing.
they were recorded on camera as well. So it's like you can listen back on camera, and you can hear the sound of the water, and then you'll hear something over the top of that.
For instance, like a woman's like a singing like a melody is something that's quite hard or quite rare really to be getting within like sound matrixing from audio anomalies, because you're having all different sort of sounds going at once. You would have to be quite lucky to get like a succession of different sounds that all sound like a continuous melody, instead of just like sound here, sound here, sound here. Like,
I think there's another comment.
Oh yeah, we have another one. Sam Smith says, hello Sam.
Hello.
Says, you checked out the history of the medieval burial grounds that was dug up around Crowland Road yet?
No, I haven't got around to that yet. No, I'm aware of it. That's just it's on my list of things to do.
We have this big list of places to go to.
It's in Haverhill.
Oh right.
Where I
live.
No, there was a burial ground there. I don't know an awful lot about it, but I know, as Sam said, it was dug up, and obviously with things like that, sometimes
disturbances can.
Same with a lot of buildings. You see renovation at work going on in buildings, and then people will experience an array of strange things happening.
Now they've built on that factory in Glenford, I wonder if they're getting anything there. I remember Lauren saying that, I think it was Lauren said, at the Walnut Tree Hospital, where that used to be near the care home she used to work at, they built a whole load of flats and stuff on there, and apparently there have been reports of having hauntings and stuff within the flats there. You think if they're brand new flats, it's unlikely there's going to be a history there of stuff actually inside the flats, but from what was there previously, again, like we were talking earlier on about, like, if you have things that are working in their own time as far as spirits go, if you could have a block of flats with a kind of superimposed version of the hospital over the top in sort of spirit form, that's what's creating the haunting.
Yeah, certainly it seems to be that way. It, like the land, that's quite a common thing people say, it's a land place to build on, but it's the same with like people have seen Roman soldiers walking through churches, and obviously like there's 1,000 years of time difference there, but obviously whatever recording or plane they're recording onto, they're following that of the land, not the... Well,
that's what they say, isn't it? If a spirit or a ghost walks through a wall, it's because in their time that wall wasn't there. It was a doorway or something. So
That's my mum.
Hello.
I was just thinking, now we've got a few people. Do you want to run the competition again?
Yes. Let's.
Yeah, let's run this competition.
Right.
Quickly show you again what you could win.
Yeah.
Shadow Paranormal mug. Love it. Great for sipping tea. It's a regular occurrence between us, isn't it?
I'll put it on UCam so you can see a bit up close.
And you've got Shadow Paranormal t-shirt there.
Blouse.
Love it. It's not blouse. It's just a large t-shirt. And our finest 2022 calendar. If you can see that.
That was you, Lauren. I thought it was. Said about the flats.
Yeah.
I did get quite stressed about that, because for like when it was getting ready to get delivered in the post, I kept thinking I put the wrong year, but.
Do you know what? I didn't even check that. I didn't even check that it said 2022.
At least it wasn't the wrong picture.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, do you want to explain?
Yes.
What you've got to
In order to win that, we will be showing you a clip from one of our previous episodes, and we'd like you to see if you can guess where that clip was filmed.
Are
So,
they entering through the Facebook page or through the chat?
you can, either drop us a message on Facebook. You can.
If you message in the chat, I'll keep an eye on it. I'll write down any names that come through.
Drop us a message or comment in the chat what you think it is. Maybe if you'd like to keep your answer secret, then a little message on Facebook might be more sensible.
We'll show this quick because we have had a bunch more messages. Through,
here's a clip.
Right, here we go. Yep. You okay?
No, I feel really sick.
Do you want to stand up front for a bit?
Yeah, we're on camera now.
That's a long clip.
Is it?
Yeah.
Oh no.
We were doing so well.
We were doing so.
Apologies, wrong clip.
Yeah, wrong clip. Sorry.
Actually, might be a point. If you send the messages to the Facebook page, that means other people won't see your answers.
Yeah, I think that's better. Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Right, hang on while I find the right.
Yeah.
Oh, I've got two opened up. That's why.
Yeah, it's the one that said competition.
That would be a giveaway for it. Right. So here we go. Here's the competition clip. So again, just say what it is. So the competition is.
Competition is,
where
if you'd
is
like
it
to win
from?
these goodies, let us know what location and what episode this clip was taken from.
Who are
Sound
you?
is playing. It's because the sound turned off on here.
Okay, that's fine.
We know there is someone here in this room and in this fort.
Turn the sound back on for us as well because we'll be playing other clips and stuff in a bit.
What was that?
We've almost been going half an hour or so.
Move your infrared light.
No, the noise.
Something definitely just fucking walks that way.
Outside?
Yeah, a black
Did swear.
black shadow. That's what I thought it was.
We'll have to
No,
watch
no,
that.
this doesn't let off any light.
I think that's one of my biggest. Please don't show that camera.
That door moved and something moved in front of the light. Like the torch dipped out there behind you.
Yeah, it is.
Who are you?
So yes, that was the competition clip. We're back.
Indeed, yes.
We're back.
Were we there the whole time?
So yeah, you said there's was there a couple more questions?
Yes.
Yeah,
let's
we've
go.
got a few coming. So, well, yeah, we've got a question, then we've got comments and stuff. So we've got Sam Smith. This was talking about Crolin's excavation. Says a family member used to live there and had a lot of activity. Your mum says I watched a lot of the excavation there. Sam Smith says, do you think it's like a glitch in time?
Is that presumably that's in?
I guess that means like the over.
Oh yeah, it's Again, it's what kind of way you look at the world and what way you kind of think things happen. But I certainly think nature can go wrong at times.
That sounds so bad.
Well, yeah, that does sound
Nature
like
can
quite
go wrong.
a really low budget series when nature goes wrong.
We've had a correct answer come in on the Facebook, by the way.
Oh.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah. That one quite.
You know, I certainly think that, like I say, nature can go wrong, and like things do glitch at times. And it's certainly if you're looking at the paranormal, some kind of electromagnetic force, then obviously with that there can be little disruptions within it. And I think that all plays into the part of what's going on at haunted places.
Do you think you would count like they call them like glitches in the Matrix or glitches or whatever? Like, do you think they would count as like a supernatural thing?
Well,
Or is it more like like a actual natural thing that's kind of gone?
It's the same with
bizarre?
ghosts, though, because the only reason they're supernatural is because we don't actually understand them yet. Like once you understand it, then we'll be out of job. But
I mean, can you call it a job?
well, yeah.
So,
But
let's not quit our evening job.
No,
so.
but it's yeah. I suppose yeah. It's yeah. I know. I can't remember what I was going to say now.
Should we go to the
That's
next
right.
question?
We've got two more.
Yeah,
questions.
let's
Okay,
go.
let's go to the next question.
Emma Stapleton again. Do you think ghosts manifest as how they think they used to look, how they wanted to look, or as how they looked when they died? That's quite an interesting one.
For me, if I was a spirit...
If I was dead, I would want to...
If I was dead, I would manifest myself how I wanted to look. because if you're a spirit, whether or not you can see your reflection in a mirror or not, like I would find myself to be a happier spirit if I looked how I really wanted to look, rather than
that's
if I
that's the thing,
look like
because as we don't know what we look like.
no, we
Well,
don't
I know
know.
what you look like. I'm sitting here.
We don't know if we
I
can
don't recognise my
see.
reflection.
We don't know if we can see ourselves in the reflection when we're dead. Like we don't know what the spirits see.
Yeah, well, it's more
Kind of a
it's more the case of like we never see ourselves. We see photographs of ourselves. We see our reflection in mirrors. We see video of ourselves, but we never see us for what we are. So even if, say, your projection of a ghost, what you project yourself as, that still wouldn't be true to form because you don't actually know what you look like.
Yeah.
To be fair as well, like a lot of the times when either they've been captured on video or photography or people have seen them, a lot of the time spirits tend to appear as like a sort of amorphous shape anyway.
They're really like distorted.
Yeah.
Yeah, and like
You
not
think
necessarily
like shadow
human
people,
form.
mists,
I mean, we just
partial figures.
we just assume that they're human, but who knows?
Yeah.
They might not be.
I suppose then again, if you're kind of just trying to make a form of yourself, you're like, it's quite a vague thing to project yourself as.
Yeah. If you think like if they were trying to manifest themselves as something, as how they wanted to look, why would they choose to like a carrier bag? It's like half a jellyfish with a broken head. It's like,
yeah, like why? But then I guess maybe it requires a lot of energy to manifest yourself as a full figure, and that's why they show themselves as like slight shadow figures or sort of jumbled up figures. You know, like,
That's quite a good word to put it, jumbled up, because I think a lot of the times they do, like especially photographs and stuff, they do seem to be quite a mishmash and a bit jumbled, almost like.
It's like a Leonardo da Vinci painting, isn't it? Is it Leonardo da Vinci? Or was the other guy?
Picasso.
Picasso.
Yeah.
Picasso, that's it. Sorry, my mistake. So it's all kind of not like a human form.
Yeah.
It's interesting when you get to like the idea of orbs and stuff then, because like what is that? It's almost like a pinpoint of a soul or whatever.
Yeah,
that
see,
energy
that's
is.
how I would look at an orb, actually. That's a good point. An orb, to me, is like the
Hi,
heart
Jack.
and the soul. Hi, Jack. Yeah, an orb is like the heart and the soul.
We have another question as well, don't we?
Go on.
We have three more questions.
You think
So
it's out,
we have
Can't count.
we have a question from Bastard Sprinkler 3000.
Love it.
Has anyone ever seen the ghost? Oh wait, no, is it the second one? Yeah. Has anyone ever seen the ghost of a caveman or a prehistoric person?
I haven't.
I haven't, but I mean, a lot of places, especially ritualistic sites, you know, stone circles,
Stonehenge,
yes.
Actual caves.
Like
like
yeah.
haunted caves.
A lot of those have supposed hauntings with them, whether that's because it's more of a ritualistic site and a religious site, or whether that's because of the people that live there and worship there. But we've certainly said many times that there seems to be like a battery life with hauntings.
Yeah, it's
That's
really
like
weird.
one of our favourite like terminologies for it, is that the spirits have a battery life.
Yeah.
And sometimes it can just run out. And
It seems like sometimes it actually needs to have time away from interacting with people to almost recharge.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And
He's just got to go plug himself into the main. Back up to 100%.
Like for instance, like the amount of times we've been to Little Corner, and sometimes it'll be crazy stuff happening all the time. But if we go there too frequently, that tends to kind of bleed out a bit, and suddenly you're turning up. There's nothing there at all. You give it like 3 or 4 months, go back, and it's like it's back to how it was. So if it's a case of it needs to have that time away from people just to top up.
But then even if you look at it on the grand scheme of things, you get a lot more Victorian or Tudor type ghosts than you do Romans now, whereas I've got a funny feeling, I can't remember when the first ever ghost report came from. I have read it. Ever in the whole world. Are you going on Google?
Yeah.
As long as you're not sharing your
I've got a funny feeling it was the sound of chains or something, and I can't remember if it was a Roman reported it or whether it was. I remember there's something to do with sound of chains, but you see, like I say, you see a lot more Victorian ghosts. Than
Everyone's guessing the competition answers, by the way.
We may have to pick a name out of the hat on this one.
Well, I've got a bucket there with some spiders in it.
Yeah.
Spiders.
They're not real spiders.
Oh.
I mean, yeah, they are real spiders.
I had I had a rainbow sticker on my sock. I was there like this, just trying to peel it off. Child who loves stickers.
Apparently in the 1st century AD, the great Roman author and statesman Pliny the Younger recorded one of the first notable ghost stories in his letters. So back from Roman times was the first
Yeah, I
ghost
had a funny
story.
feeling it was Roman, but like I say, I'd
So
imagine.
was that in the Roman times and the first spirit was a Roman, or like...
Well, I didn't really say what the sighting was. That's the
No.
first
I didn't read
mention.
far enough into it.
That's the first
So that's the
mention,
first mention
of something in
yeah.
text. So I'm guessing they would be, if we're looking at it that way, they'd be experiencing stuff pre-Roman conquest.
Yeah.
It would have to be... Well, I mean, it would have to be before their time, but then we've already said earlier on that ghosts could be from the future.
Yeah.
What's the mean? They could be seeing Victorian ghosts as a Roman.
That is such a trip.
That's another kettle of fish.
We have some more questions. Bunglezip 2 again. Do you think ghosts can be classified as an alternative form of intelligent life, as they occasionally interact with people? So technically, does that mean investigators are dealing in alien life? Wow.
It's alien in the sense that it's
To
foreign.
us.
Like it's not something that we, well, I suppose we do experience on the daily really, but to normal people, you don't experience it every day, so it is like an alien subject.
I think it is. I suppose they would essentially, if everything is as it seems and they are indeed real, I suppose it would definitely be another form of life. And who's to say that aliens aren't here? Who's to say ghosts aren't?
It's
aliens?
almost like to describe them as you have a person, the person dies and transcends into a different form, and the other form is kind of the same way you'd have like an alien. It's separate from human, but it's not.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's It's just
an interesting
It's
one.
just another form of consciousness, really, isn't it? Which you would see as intelligent life.
Should we have another one?
Yeah.
Emma Stapleton again. What do you think shadow people are? Ghosts or something other?
I think it's down to personal interpretation.
Shadow people are
So-
terrifying. I mean, like the ones
Yeah.
we've encountered.
Well, that's the thing, because we've seen some that are like human-sized, we've seen some that are goblin-sized, we've seen
Yeah.
some
Oh
that are like
yeah,
monsters.
the goblin.
You know, like there's so many different ways you can see a shadow, or there's so many different ways that a shadow can like show
Appear.
itself.
Yeah.
But that's the thing with the shadow people as well that I find interesting, is that they're not actually shadows. They are kind of free moving forms.
Yeah.
They are, in all intents and purposes, 3-dimensional kind of in a
It's
way.
almost like they're behind a cloudy bit of glass.
Yeah, that's it.
You
Yeah,
know,
yeah.
so you're seeing sometimes when you look.
There was a documentary about you know when there was a tsunami in Japan.
Yeah.
There was a documentary about the ghosts that people had spotted
Yeah,
after the
I've watched
tsunami.
that, yeah.
There was a guy who described seeing ghosts as exactly like that, as it being like there's a person behind,
Yeah.
sort of like, I don't know if he said that it was like sort of blurry glass
Yeah.
or glass, but it's like there's someone behind something like that. That's what
Yeah.
it kind of felt like.
It's like sometimes if you're walking in the street and someone's in their bathroom, you're not necessarily seeing.
No, correct
All
answer.
right, you're not seeing necessarily them. It's just like their outline.
Yeah,
So it's down to what your eyes see and like your interpretation of it.
yeah. Well,
I'm just going to write these people down because they're
Yes,
Yeah, no,
yeah.
okay.
Yeah, I don't think there's anything else with shadow people. I mean, they could be essentially anything.
Well, I mean, there has been talks before of perhaps not necessarily demons, but lower level spirits portraying themselves
Put it in
as
a hat.
shadow people to
You're
you
all
know,
going
try
in
and
a hat.
gain our trust, kind of thing.
Yeah.
So
Yeah, no, again, but then that's just another form of paranormal thing, isn't it? It's
some form of paranormal activity.
yeah, I don't think there's anything necessarily inherently dark about them. It's just
No.
because we don't understand them, they appear darker, and they are. I say they are quite intimidating anyway because they are black shadowy type forms.
Yeah, it's not something you're used to seeing. It's like when you're home alone and all of a sudden somebody walks by the top of the stairs and you're like, what? I'm home alone, who could that be, you know? So it's when you're out in the middle of a forest and a shadow walks past a window that is no longer a window, you're like, what?
Yeah,
So,
that's the thing with them. But
Yeah.
no, that's a good question. But
Yeah, good
I
question.
don't think they're anything other than just another type of entity.
Next question, James?
I was going to say, so the actual answers we'll take from the Facebook.
Yeah.
because there's one comment on here which I don't know if it's referencing the answer or not.
Right.
So anything that goes on the Facebook page will take them as the definite entries for it. So far we've got 2 as definite entries to go into the hat,
The bucket.
The cobweb bucket.
into the horrible bucket. Right. Okay, so we've got a interesting comment, I guess, to say from Jack. I just wondered if any of you guys knew that Overchurch Close. Sorry. I just wondered if any of you guys knew that Overchurch Close, Haverhill, was an ancient burial ground. In the late 90s, it was excavated and found lots of skeletons there.
I've heard very vague things about it, but to be honest, I've not really looked into it in any great depth at the moment. I will, fingers crossed, next year be doing a documentary on the ghosts around Haverhill, so that'll all be included in that. That's why I've really not sort of dabbled in that section too much already.
You've done a few videos on the channel though of going around places.
Yeah, but that's what I mean. I did a local tour of the villages, but I wanted to do like an actual documentary on Haverhill because it's one of those places that really is kind of
Scary.
Well, yeah.
Yeah.
It's one of those places you don't think of as being a haunted place, but then you start digging there and there's actually lots of little stories in there, same as any market town, any place really.
That's the thing, when it's a market town and you get a lot of London overspill towns, they have like a large population. So there's going to be historic buildings that would have been destroyed and then housing estates built on top of. So there is going to be a lot of history there.
I think any little village or little town, if you go to the pub, you just get talking to people.
Yeah,
everyone
there'll be
there
someone
has
there
knows of
that's
something
like,
local that's
Yeah.
like a haunted thing.
So yeah, I will dig into all of that probably in the new year and get a documentary together, but all of that will be covered in it. So yeah.
We have a question from my mum.
Mum.
Why do some people come back as ghosts and not others? Are they troubled souls who can't find rest?
See, I like to believe the whole like unfinished business thing, because I think if when I die,
Left the gas on.
I was going to say if I died, but I mean when I die, that I would purposefully have some unfinished business so that I could come back, you know.
I
And
thought
if
you
it
meant
doesn't
as in
work,
when I die, I've got some stuff I need to get on with.
No.
Yeah. Finish that jigsaw.
Yeah.
I always need to finish a jigsaw.
I don't know. Again, I don't think there's any choice in the matter really. I think it's just one of those things. I think ghosts appear and they vanish. I don't think there's any, or we don't think from our experience there's any rhyme or reason to why certain places have haunteds and why others don't.
Yeah, well that's what I mean, because you could go to one church and it'd be really haunted, and you could go to another church from like the same period and it not be haunted.
Yeah.
So it's difficult to
There must
answer that as to
there must
why.
be a factor that plays in, that's a variable factor that decides what places are haunted and what ones aren't, but we're yet to find that factor.
Yeah.
Do you reckon we should go for the last of these and then we'll go to some videos?
Yes, good idea.
Because
last
we've
few
got
ones
plenty.
are
We've got plenty to go through still.
Yeah.
Then we'll round out another question session at the end.
Q&A.
Yeah.
Teach my mum.
So the last of these ones for now. So if you hold your questions for now, we'll come back probably about 7:45, I reckon, and we'll come back and have a look through some more questions. So Bungles It Too again said a Roman legion was spotted in a cellar in Colchester years ago. It was said, so I was going back to talk about seeing Roman ghosts. Blasted Sprinkler 3000. What's the scariest experience you guys have had individually?
Okay. Do you want to
You go first.
Alright, okay. So mine, I can't remember the name of the church. Do you remember? I think it was the one with the really good lightning shot at the end.
I wasn't there.
Horsey.
Horseheath.
That was the one I was in the boat for.
We were stood in the entranceway or archway, and I think Nick, one of our previous guys, was filming you doing a talking bit, and I'm just stood there, and I felt this sharp pinch or scratch, and I looked, and from sort of my inner elbow, because that's what it's called, to my wrist was a really deep scratch mark, and that terrified me. And ever since then, that's when I've been truly a believer, I guess, invested in it.
Me. Oh, I don't know really. I
I was just gonna say, or the baby cry.
that was something
Oh,
else.
yeah.
Yeah, that was more like touching than scary for me. The baby
Yeah.
cry. That was at Wheaton Castle
Yeah.
last year. Yeah, for me, I'd have to say, and it's always been number one up until now, is the goblin at Little Corner.
See, I didn't experience that because I was a wimp and I was hiding in the car. And what was even worse about, a funny story, Luke had put his can of energy drink on the roof of the car, and because it was windy, it was rattling back and forth, and I was terrified that there was a little monster running around the outside of the car, scratching at the door, trying to get me. But it wasn't. It was just a can of energy
He's
drink on the
absolutely
roof.
fuming.
But I was. I got out to look with my torch, and I saw the cat, and I was like, for flipping hell's sake.
Good
Are you
catch.
sure that's what you said?
That is exactly what I said.
Oh bother.
Oh bother.
Yeah, no, Little Corner, when I saw what looked like a little goblin type
Are you
creature.
going to impersonate how it ran across the room?
No.
Damn
I've
it.
got enough room to.
Actually, we ain't got the space.
But yeah, no, because that was one of the most clear sightings I've had. And it did spook me a little bit because it came out of nowhere and it was so clear, so vivid, and it's just one of those things where your mind just can't comprehend what you've seen because it's like that shouldn't happen.
It was witnessed by other people as well.
Yeah, it's me
so
and Jason
that's-
saw it, yes, and we saw exactly the same thing, so that enhances that there was definitely something there.
But again, it was like something could have manifested itself
Yeah.
to appear goblin like to creep you out.
Yeah, that was a bizarre one. There's so many to choose from, to be honest. The one that, like, having to think, the one that springs to mind, which we were all there for, was when we're in the basement, or the lowest section of the nuclear bunker,
Yes.
and it been dead
Yes.
silent for a good, like, hour and a half.
And our fight or flight kicked in.
And then just suddenly the loudest bang coming from the other room that was nearby us. And yeah, fight or flight of everyone just turn and run up the stairs away
we all
from
ran
wherever
up the
sound
stairs
was.
like wet in our knickers,
And
and we all looked at each other
like, wait, this is what we're here to be
yeah.
doing.
I think you said it, didn't you? Were like, why
No,
are we running
I
away? Is it you?
was already near the exit.
Oh,
I'd
yeah.
like, I'd fly up.
Oh, God.
And Joe's like, what? This is what we're supposed
to be here.
Yeah.
So then the scariest part of that was then actually having to go and find out what that noise
Yeah.
was. And so walking through rooms one after another in the dark,
Yeah.
thinking.
But again, that was another thing we tried to debunk. We
Yeah.
tried to, slam the door to see if that caused it to fall off.
Oh, we've done a lot
It was
of
an
that.
IR light, wasn't
Yeah.
it? And it fell off
Yeah.
something.
No, we
Well,
really tried to debunk that.
It
but-
looked like it flew across the room, to be honest, rather than just
Yeah.
fell.
But the interesting thing with that was, it wasn't until we came home a couple of weeks later, and I think you watched something, and like apparently a poltergeist activity's more experienced in that basement area, which is in
Yeah, I think
Yeah.
I did see something
yeah.
like
So
that.
that's completely in line with what we experienced.
I was thinking a close second that I could think would be when I saw the shadow person at Petworth Chapel. But I'll leave that one for you actually
Yeah.
see the episode of that, which should be.
There's so many to talk to. We could do a whole
Yeah.
thing on this.
So we've got one from Sam Smith. What investigations do you have planned that we can look forward to? This will be
Lots.
next series.
Yeah, well, we've got new videos coming out next month.
Do you want to give the list of locations?
Yeah, well, we've got a few. We've got Baconsalt Castle,
Bacon sauce cast.
Baconsalt Castle, Petworth Chapel, it's Big Asylum we investigated, Prisoner of War Camp.
Yeah.
We've got quite a few coming up in that.
Yeah.
As for actually going out and filming new stuff, we've got our 10th anniversary coming up next year, so we are going to start working on that within the next month. Basically, we put a poll out a couple of months ago asking people where they'd like us to return to for
Yeah.
the 10th anniversary. So we've got 3 places we'll be going back to.
It's going to be like a triple
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 whammy.
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 Yeah.
Yeah, so that's the next big thing we've got, and then obviously we'll be, I'm sure, more Ghost Op stuff we'll be doing, and yeah, plenty still to come.
We have got a Ghost Ops video that's been in the making for about 6 months, and it's literally just been a case that we haven't really gone out to film any Ghost Ops things recently. The video itself is top 10 of stuff that we've
Yeah.
captured over time.
But at the minute it's
It's
top 9.
So the stuff that's on there already is like at such a high caliber.
Yeah.
We're just
It's
waiting to get
finding
one more
something
thing that's that
else,
sort of
yeah.
level. Honestly, some of the I can't believe that we've actually captured so much stuff doing Ghost. That's
Yeah.
around 20 to 30 odd episodes
Yeah.
now. But yeah, there was some good stuff on that. Oh, Bungles at 2 says, sorry you couldn't attend the investigation with us a while back. Who goes there? Luke. But you're still welcome to send us your details to give you that money back, mate.
No, that's alright, don't worry about it. Get yourself a brew.
KRT 15 says, does Luke keep a marmalade sandwich under his hat?
That's for me to know, you to find out.
He does.
It's a bit warm.
He does.
The bite out of it.
That's from the spider that lives under there too.
Bastard Sprinkler 3000. Have any of you guys ever seen a cryptid? If not, what's your fave cryptid story?
I haven't, no, I don't know what it is, sorry. I'm uneducated. Yeah, I don't know what it is.
Like a cryptic crossword. No,
I know
What?
Jack as well doesn't know what cryptids are either. So cryptids are basically like supernatural monsters.
Well, I think they're sort of more creature based.
Creature.
You know.
For the goblin. You know goblin
No,
friend?
that's more.
No?
No, it's
Shadow
sort of more.
person.
I suppose Bigfoot would count, would it?
Yeah.
Loch Ness monster. That.
Werewolf.
I have
Like-
I have a video of an interesting one to show you. It's quite a classic one. I'll show if you want.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll just answer what our favourite ones
Yeah,
are.
yeah,
Mine is the black shuck because it's local to me. It's everywhere around East Anglia you go. There's a black shuck story, so that's why I like black shuck. And it's got a good name, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a good name. That's our local one. I've got a couple of cryptid ones actually. So yeah, this one's quite interesting. You heard the Fresno night crawlers?
I've got a funny feeling though. If this is the one I think it is.
So here we go. These are the Fresno night crawlers, which is quite like an interesting. Just playing.
Yes, this
Quite
is the
an
one I think it is,
interesting
yeah.
thing.
Oh, looks,
I don't know if you'd call it a ghost.
it certainly looks like an adult and a child. But like,
But it's like they're hovering. It's really strange.
and they've got no
here's another video of
waist.
them. Look.
Their legs join at the neck.
Because it wasn't. I've got a funny feeling the Native American people around that area had a like a deity that looks like that, or they'd spoken about those kind of creatures living in the woods around there. I can't remember whereabouts it was in the States, but yeah, I have seen that before. But that definitely
We'll
more
just play it
cryptic.
again. I don't know if it played on stream. These are the Fresno night crawlers. Quite an interesting thing. I'd possibly call it a cryptid.
I mean, if it is real, what it's showing, then like it's obviously caught something that's not
Weird.
a person or an animal. That video has always creeped me out though.
Yeah, this is on CCTV as well. So you think? I mean, even looking at this from the perspective of someone who does video editing and does like
Yeah.
monster effects and
Yeah.
stuff, I don't even know how you would go about creating something.
There's a lot of work gone into it if it is staged.
Yeah, it's a
Because
very
they've even
interesting
put like a shadow in, and obviously to superimpose it with grain and all of that would be quite difficult. But
I've got one more cryptid one for you if you want.
Yeah, let's
This
have a
is
look.
quite interesting one. What do you reckon this is?
It's Dobby the elf. That's fake. I'm sorry, that is so
I'm
fake.
not buying that. It's Dobby.
That is Dobby the elf. Why is he doing the chicken dance? Like, what is that all about? I'm sorry, but that is so fake.
Bizarre, isn't it?
That's someone
It's got
dressed up.
well, no, it's because the feet are like frog feet.
Its knee
Yeah,
goes
but-
backwards at one point.
Yeah, no, I'm not buying that. I think that's either a costume or
An edit.
Look, its
Yeah,
legs
yeah.
back to front.
yeah. It's good. It's creepy, but it's I don't think that's like anything to fear really.
Terrifying.
I have to sit on a cushion. Sorry.
Yeah, so that's what cryptids are then for you, Jack.
Mm.
Oh, we've got a few more people on here. Look, someone's trousers escaped.
Wallace and Gromit and the what is it?
Wrong trousers.
Wrong trousers.
Curse the trousers.
Curse of the wrong trousers.
Sam Smith again. Do you believe that it's people coming back, or just flashes in time that we were getting a peek into?
See, we have had conversations about this before, haven't we?
Bit of both, I think. I
Yes,
don't
yeah.
think there's a black and white answer. I think.
Do you
there's-
reckon like stone tape theory can also bounce around with that? Because it would be
Yeah.
you'd be seeing a snapshot of stone tape theory. I mean, a lot of the time, you know, when you get like the seeing stuff out the corner of your eye, that's like a snapshot.
Yeah.
But that's
a lot
in
of
your
the time.
peripheral vision, isn't it?
It
When
is, yeah.
It's like still like a freeze frame kind of thing.
It's just whenever we've had that, it tends to be sudden. It's never like a prolonged thing.
Yeah, split second.
I think it all plays in together. I don't think there's one type of strange event. The paranormal's so broad a subject that I don't think there's just one type of thing occurring. I think there's multiple different angles to look at it with multiple different things occurring. So yeah, I think it is all tied in together.
We have John Walton. Which other YouTube paranormal team would you like to do an investigation with?
Quite a lot, really. 'Cause
Yeah.
like,
I love the idea of doing like a, what do you call it?
a joint.
Like a joint team investigation.
We have done
Because-
quite a few.
But I've not been there.
Oh, you haven't been? Yeah.
No, I haven't been there. I don't get invited.
There's quite a few little groups in our
Yeah.
area, especially that we're
Well,
we
to
get
be
on
fair,
well.
when we've been out, we've bumped into the odd
Yeah,
group
quite a few
before, haven't we?
times.
But
Yeah.
I just like the idea of
Yeah.
getting another group's perspective on it. you
Yeah,
know,
that's the
another
most
group's
interesting
thought,
thing. Is other people's. Like,
It's, sometimes it's how far can another team take it, you know?
yeah, but it's still interesting, like what other people think about things and their ideas and even how they operate and do things.
like their equipment
Yeah.
and you know.
Because like, we've got a very it's not a set way. We do stuff differently depending on the place we're at, but we've got some form of structure to how we investigate a place. But it's interesting seeing other people's approach. So there's not any like one group, but there's loads of people I'm talking to at the moment.
There's lots of groups that we would like to investigate with, and that we have investigated with, and we'd be happy to investigate again.
Yeah.
Anytime soon.
Yeah.
And I like the idea of having a guest as well. You know, having someone join us for an investigation and they get to experience.
It kind of puts us like it's an extra pair of like a non-objective pair of eyes as well. That's kind of just not an observer necessarily, but
an observer,
an outsider.
It's other people bringing stuff to the table that we might not have done previous. We've got Bastard Sprinkler 3000 just adding to the conversation about cryptids, saying like the black shark or Loch Ness monster, a monster of sorts. So pretty much like a sort of not a human ghost.
No, sort of a creature type.
A creature thing, yeah. Southeast Graphics. Hey team, hope you're all well. I'm wondering if you can help me. I've been having repetitive dreams with the same black figures in it. What does it mean?
So when I know from my experiences with repetitive dreams, they appear at times of stress, anxiety, or other like emotional feelings. So like I have, I won't go into it, but I have a dream that comes and repeat at certain times when I'm feeling really stressed, and also lack of sleep. Depending on your sleep pattern, it can affect your dreams and stuff as well.
Yeah, because you're going to same with that sort of thing. Sleep paralysis is often ties in with that, and there's black shadow figures often pop up in sleep paralysis. So whether it's something tied into that kind of thing as well, probably your best bet is just to have a little research of dreams, because like
there is a friend I used to know, his mum had a book about dreams and all the different meanings and stuff. But a lot of it now you can just Google like the words, for example, dream meanings and things like that, and you can tick off certain aspects of that dream and it'll pop up with what is relatable and what that dream could mean.
Because it is a bit pseudo. Like there's like you take it with a pinch of salt, but there's certainly stuff that I've had. Like I used to have dreams about my teeth falling out, and like apparently that is a translation of literally having your teeth fall out, or it's a fear of loss or something along those lines.
Yeah, that's when it comes to like the Freudian interpretation of dreams.
Yeah, so that's probably best to have a look, because I'm sure
although a lot of that has been debunked.
Well, it's a bit pseudoscience-y, but it's interesting, and you might get some answers. So I reckon that's a good idea.
Coming more from like a occultism and magic perspective, like recurring dreams of shadow figures, especially, like could potentially be some kind of attachment to something. I mean, you would depends who you've been hanging out with, but it could potentially be some kind of like hex or like.
But then you'd expect to experience other stuff as well along with the dreams, wouldn't you? You wouldn't think
you would have a string of bad luck or like
unusual
potentially circumstances.
But then it could also be like if you're mind is ready to think you're going to be having dreams of black shadow figures, you're going to be having dreams of black shadow figures. I mean, it's
a vicious cycle,
self-perpetual nightmare machine of your mind.
Off topic, I've just realised, James, if you cut up your work gloves...
Yeah.
I recognise the fact that they've got a coloured wristband.
I only fingerless ones, I had to make some.
Sorry.
We've got PJ Jones, hi all, late to the party, love your films as you know. Calandra says Dobby.
Oh,
Guess
back
that's
to
Yeah.
Jack says it's Dobby.
It's definitely Dobby. He's
Lauren-
looking for a sock.
Lauren says the Dobby thing was debunked as the owner's kid running around with a pair of pants on his head. There's a local news story about it. I do remember seeing the news story. I just want to play it to these to have a look.
No,
That's
we're not that easily gullible.
Although you say that, but the kid denies doing that. But then he probably
kids
would.
would.
if
Yeah,
it
but
was
would you
TV.
admit to running around in the garden with pants on your head?
No.
I don't
Your
admit
mum
to
or your
doing
dad would go, I'll buy you lots of sweets if you don't admit to running around the garden with pants on your
Yeah,
head.
yeah, the
No?
news are involved now.
Yeah.
We've got one for you here, Luke. How does a spirit from Jack? How does a spirit box say words?
Magic.
How does it decide what words to say?
Well,
you
that's
have theories on this.
Yeah, that's the thing, because I did do some tests last year with it, and most of the stuff that comes through is terrestrial radio transmissions. However, then you get into ideas that ghosts can choose what parts of radio transmissions to push through. I don't particularly buy into that.
The idea of it's guiding it.
Yeah, but at the same time, it's static noise. So if you think that, which I think it's a form of electricity, and if ghosts can interact with electrical devices, then static radio frequencies would be an obvious source of that to utilise. But I mean, the problem with the spirit box is that it's so open to interpretation. It's not like, although you get stuff come through, it's how you hear it.
Well,
what
that's
you
what
Play
it
the
is. It's
same
like when-
clip of audio to 5 different people. They'll hear something different.
Yeah,
won't they?
I've seen videos on that where they it'll play like an audio clip and you can listen to it once and it'll say red, and you listen to it again and it'll say green.
Yeah.
And it's just because in your head you think that's what it's going to say. So that's.
And
what
there's
you
no
do.
way of regulating spirit
No.
boxes either. There's no way of stopping transmissions coming in or actually finding the source of what voices come through. So we use it occasionally,
Well,
but
you
it's
did that experiment before at that fort. I think it was a fort where you.
the castle, Hadley Castle.
Yeah.
That was,
So, do you want to say about the what you did there, just for checking? With
Yeah,
the-
so what I did when I done the test is basically I listened to the radio scanning through the different frequencies, and every time there was a radio station I made a note of the what frequency it was on. Obviously left the spirit box static so I wasn't moving around where it could pick up different things. And every single thing that came through was on a point where there was a terrestrial radio station. Could be that place didn't have anything going on in terms of activity, but at the same time, unless you mark every time there's an actual station, you're kind of going in blind with it because there's no way of regulating what voices come through.
An interesting thing with spirit box is something I'd say maybe at some points leads towards being maybe more supernatural is where you get like entire sentences come through over the sweep of like 6 bands, because you think if you've got like 6 bands going bang 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 bang, at least one of them on a radio is going to have music playing. So if you've got 6 that are playing voices all at the same time that match up as a sentence, like the possibility of, or the coincidence of having that.
I had a whole sentence come through. I think it went on for about 5 seconds.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that you scan through one frequency on that every like third of a second or something.
Yeah.
So that's going nearly a whole way through everything of one. If that's a radio transmission, it's one transmission lasting through all those frequency stations. But
It's an odd one. It's the
I think they've got potential, but like I say, the problem is there's no way of regulating it. So if you're using the spirit box as proof for anything, you can't really because
No,
it
you have to
isn't.
be like, what's the word? You have to have.
Thinking cap.
Yeah, no, that's not the word, but
Thinking
it'll
cap.
do. You have to have thinking cap.
Do you want to run some, as it's just gone half past, I just noticed,
Yeah,
do you want
let's
to run
run
some
some clips.
videos?
Yeah, let's go.
Alright.
Can you mute us though, so I can go to the toilet?
Yeah, if you want.
Otherwise, you'll hear the flush on the stream.
Alright, I'll just, which one are we going with first?
Not
Let's have a
Bobby
look.
the Owl.
Not Dobby.
Let's have a look at
Go
the.
Crow Christmas
Oh,
Dog.
funny, the poltergeist from the Harwich, the Kelvin and Hatch bunker.
Yes.
Kelvin Hatch Poltergeist.
This one?
Next year.
Shadow figure. That one.
Oh,
Yeah.
and this was the clip we was talking about earlier where James said one of his scariest moments.
Right. Did you want to go?
Yes. Thank you. Sorry.
Right. I'll turn down the volume on us.
Alright.
So lights on.
The light switch is like.
I just realised I was playing it without sound, so I'll play it again.
No. Where are you going?
Wait, yeah, what are we running?
Where are you going? Where are you going? Come on.
Come on, Sophie.
Come on.
I don't even know, that was just out of shot, Brad.
What is that? That's for here. Don't bring this up, I can't see anything else.
Turn the lights on. Turn the lights on.
Hello?
Where's the switch?
Who made that noise?
I think main room.
Where's the lights?
Alright.
So lights on.
The light switch is over there. Get the light. It wasn't that stick.
No.
Was it the light not there?
Yeah.
It's on the floor. Is that behind us?
Yeah, it was this. What we had heard turned out to be the sound of one of our infrared lights crashing to the floor, and after reviewing the footage from the locked off camera, we could find no explanation or cause for this.
So, what we're going to see now is the actual footage. Is the camera itself recorded?
Yeah, this is a
Red lights crashing to the floor, and after reviewing the footage from the locked off camera, we could find no explanation or cause for this.
So we're
about 3 rooms
Right.
away.
yeah.
I can understand if we've just been walking around in this room, but we've been out for, what, 15
Just be
minutes?
wearing a nuclear shirt.
I mean, the only reason it would have fallen is.
There we go. So yeah, interesting that one.
But I think I've forgotten about that one, to be honest. That's probably
Yeah, yeah.
I don't think you can ever have a top one. Do you know what I mean?
They're all
there's
different
got
as
to be
well.
like a top 3 to 5.
That was certainly the
because
most,
they're all different
Yeah.
types.
that was definitely the most adrenaline fueled.
Oh yeah, 100%. That was fight or flight without doubt. Well, flight clearly, but
Yeah.
you know.
Yeah, I was shaking for about
Oh,
a
we
month
all were.
after.
We were like, oh my god, wondering what was going to happen next.
Should we grab another clip?
Yeah, let's have a look.
Yeah.
Another clip.
We'll run through clips now because I can see your questions coming up and comments and stuff.
Yeah.
But we are running tight on time now,
Yeah.
so we're gonna have to just.
Let's have a little look at.
Should we go from the first ones?
Yeah, let's have a look
Just
at
go
Cold
through.
Christmas Church.
Cold Christmas Dog.
Yes, Cold Christmas Church. This was last year.
So do you want to preface this one?
Yeah, so this was a place that I've been on my radar for a long while. I thought because it's such a popular place we wouldn't get a lot there, but we were quite wrong. Really weird place. There's a lot of occult stuff that took place there. I think it still does occasionally, and I think it's brought through some quite dark things. But the clip you're about to see is where James saw a dog. And the weirdest thing is, we later on, when I was editing the video, well, I think I put a photo up of the place we were at Cold Christmas Church, and someone commented saying that there's a dog and a man that's supposed to haunt some underground tunnels there. We had no idea.
No,
and it's like when James said he saw the dog, I thought it's a bit of an odd thing to see, but to line it up with an actual reported haunting there afterwards with no prior knowledge was quite outstanding, really. So this is that.
Yep. You okay?
No, I feel really sick.
That was a weird place to put because you started feeling really ill.
Yeah.
You had to leave.
Yeah. And it was weird. As soon as I left the area and I was like out of certain range, I felt fine.
Yeah, we've got to go back there.
There was something big white thing here just now that was next to us, like solid, like a dog, like a white dog.
You're going to see a person.
A white dog here.
The flash in your head is like a dog.
Yeah.
Although none of our cameras recorded the dog-like apparition that James had seen, interestingly we captured what sounds like a rather animalistic snarl at exactly the same time it would have appeared.
We come towards that device we've laid on the floor.
I love your voiceover.
What is this? That's not wheels, is it?
That's the blood.
Blood or something.
Yeah.
So there was some really dodgy stuff.
That's not berries.
Because we thought at first, is it bike
bike
tyres?
track.
But then
From
why
what?
would a bicycle tyre leave
Why is
a
it
trail
just there?
Blood.
red?
Is it burned?
I think I remember.
It's red, it's like blood.
Yeah, I got the phone
It's
out.
burnt.
I don't think turn off
It's burnt grass.
All dead.
There's that one and there's one over there. There's a line of it here.
I mean, it's got a big history for occult stuff. And,
It's not dead, no, it's like...
There's a line of it here as well.
yeah.
And here.
It's slimy.
Don't touch it then.
That's our trouble, isn't it? We see something and we go, ooh! And then you put it on your fingers and smell it and you're like,
What was
look,
that?
it's dog poop.
That was over there.
Did you hear that?
That sounded like a woman.
What'd you
That's
hear?
definitely one to go back to. It's funny because I watch videos now and again and I think, I forgot how good that place was, we'll have to go back
Yeah,
there. So.
well, that's the trouble. It's like sometimes because I finish work at midnight, I get home and I'm like, oh no, I'll just lay in bed with some popcorn and a mug of Horlicks, as per Luke, and watch some Shadow Paranormal videos. And then I'm like, oh my god, I completely forgot that happened.
Yeah.
That's why it's so hard to list your favourite place.
Yeah, and they're all, and because they're so different, it's like
Yeah.
how do you rate stuff if you hear something like voices coming from
That's what
nowhere,
I mean,
and
yeah.
or you see something like what top trunks what.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
different
I think,
levels of spookiness.
I think our biggest one is to physically have something appear, like clear as day, in front of us and on camera.
Yeah,
but we'll have to wait and see.
So
Yeah.
it's, most of the time it's been either or.
Yeah.
yeah. That's the thing. What I said earlier about trying to get a profile of a place. In terms of the ghosts, because you never get the whole package all at once. You get little bits of information and little bits of sightings or audible
Yeah.
things. You never get the whole package, which makes it more difficult to work out what's going on at said place.
One of my things that I like to do is like when we go anywhere, I don't look at any of the history. I don't check
Go in blind.
anything. I literally go in blind. I get in the car and I go, so where are we going? Because I've not paid any attention
No.
to what you're saying.
No, I mean I obviously
And then-
do the writing.
yeah,
for the,
he does
the background.
like
and
research and stuff like that for for scripts and things. But
Luke prepares.
yeah, I don't.
We don't.
Wing
Yeah,
it.
but-
We are the wingmen.
Yeah,
That's
but
it.
that's pretty good though, because
We
it
know
gives
people.
it gives two different perspectives on the place. One person who knows. And,
3 different perspectives.
well, 3 different
Yeah.
perspectives,
Because-
but
James's knowledge of like occult and
Yeah.
witchy stuff is different to my knowledge. Like
Yeah.
Of Ali G.
Brilliant. Yeah, it's like I have very limited knowledge of the paranormal in a way.
yeah, that's what I mean. That's why it works well. It's 3 different
Yeah.
people, 3 different perspectives.
Yeah, in a way it
and
means you're not going in tainted with ideas.
Yeah.
and
No,
what's
I'm
going-
going in blind.
You're going in blind.
Yeah.
Another good example of cacking your pants to something happening in an investigation. is
Go on.
I don't know what one this is.
That's the alarm. James.
James.
What? That's the alarm.
Yeah,
the
which
steps.
one?
The steps.
On the steps?
On the stairs.
We could work. We could work out where the steps
we-
were.
How do we get there?
The whole way around.
No.
It's there somewhere.
Sounds like it's come from over here.
Yeah, it's this room. It's this room.
Yeah.
Yeah, we
Look.
went the whole way around. We went the wrong way.
What? Where's that coming from?
James. This one. No, you're right. It's this one.
I remember so freaked out about that. That was another fight.
It was the thing there where
Oh, it can't be. It's not this one.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean. Because the wardens were in.
I think that camera battery's died though.
They've got. They completely.
Something said it's all.
Sophie, alright?
Something said it's all broken in. You know where they were.
reset it as well, and it just wouldn't reset, would it?
Because it's like a 13-minute clip as well.
That camera battery's died, so
That was one of the most frustrating things about it,
Yeah.
is that we can actually capture what had done that, because the battery had died.
But maybe it was connected, who knows? Maybe it
drained
drained the battery, walked through and set the thing off, you know?
Unfortunately, the battery on the camera recording the staircase had died, so we returned to base and brought back another camera
I
in
love
hopes
that
of
base.
recording whatever.
So yeah, this was interesting. So we tried this a bunch of times, setting the sensors up again,
Just to
and each
demonstrate.
time
To break it, you have to do that. So something actually has to go in front of where those two are.
I was
Shaking,
laughing quite a lot at this point.
That's
You probably spent upwards of nearly 10 minutes.
Yeah, we edited this shit down.
trying
as well.
it. I don't even mind.
This is a proper like behind the scenes thing, you know? Like,
So it's,
and that's one thing that I want to see more of on the channel. It's like our behind the scenes stuff. Because some of the things we come up with.
So we've got quite a lot. We'll put that up.
Yeah.
Once the series out, we've got loads of like footage of just going around places and.
yeah.
We,
But basically on this video that we actually got, once we eventually stopped them from wobbling and setting themselves off, we got them to sit there and they were fine. And then a couple of seconds in, they would still go off.
yeah.
So
they
what we
were
did
undisturbed.
was we took those two motion sensors and took them back to our base camp bit, tested them there, tested them somewhere that isn't that staircase.
And we changed the batteries as well, didn't we?
Changed the
Just in
batteries,
case there was a fault in the
Everything.
batteries.
So this is our test with it back at the
Normal mode instead of
in the
night
base
vision.
room. So we'll try out the motion sensors. Try out the motion sensors actually down here. Nothing.
Advertising monster.
So that's the old batteries, yeah?
the old battery did.
So the motion sensors were working completely fine. It wasn't something that was going wrong with them. It's just made it easy.
The old batteries were. So it's they're different blood one.
Yeah, they're both on.
Put your hand through it now.
Yeah.
Well, just give it a couple of minutes, just so it's been on long enough. And the old batteries were Duracell, and the new ones I was going to put in a Duracell Plus.
Yeah.
So,
Well,
Wait, that's the thing,
I just wanted to
yeah.
make sure the batteries were labelled so we knew what one was what.
So you can see there that the actual the motion sensors are working. So we thought, okay, we'll try it somewhere where there's like a current or like a breeze. So this is it. This is us trying them in the
on that
doorway.
staircase, something was mucking about with them.
So you're thinking if there's air going through the doorway, like it would be on the staircase, maybe it's set them off.
Yeah.
Nothing was setting them off on the staircase. Oh,
It's
that's
got to be the
That's
staircase.
one of our weirdest things.
Should we get back up there?
Once we returned to the staircase, we set the motion sensors back up and brought along a K2 and tri-field meter to try and measure any fluctuations in EMF on the staircase.
Alright, so that's very weird. It's not getting anything now.
This is exact same place
Yeah.
that we were before.
Did that just do a massive spike?
Yeah, and the K2 went.
Did it? Have you got your phone?
No.
Is someone here on this staircase with us?
Very interesting
Yeah,
place.
it's another place that's got the light.
Were you messing around with our equipment earlier?
Triple click.
Are you still on night vision when you turn
No.
You turn it to
We
normal?
Yeah.
Here's the tri-field meter that was just going.
Yeah, measure magnetic fields.
Yeah.
So that so yeah.
There's steps outside.
Sounded like someone ran outside, was running outside.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah, I just
yeah,
heard it.
and then because you could hear, we
Heard like-
said that the door was squeaking.
Someone just ran past.
Yeah.
There goes tri-field meter.
Yeah.
And you made the lights on the box next to it go on.
Yeah, that was.
Shall we run the competition one more time?
Yeah.
Yeah, as we've got
Right.
a few people in now, so I just want to. Just need sound pop up. So do you want to just
Yes.
establish what the competition is? You got the prizes. You can show the prizes.
Shadow Paranormal mug for sipping your finest cup
Hang on,
of
Sophie.
tea.
Hang on, Sophie. We've got to do close up. There we go.
Shadow Paranormal mug for sipping your finest cup of tea. And then what did t-shirt next? 'Cause, yeah. T-shirt. I don't know if you can see that. Yeah.
Lovely T-shirt.
Yeah,
Fresh
lovely
in,
t-shirt.
freshly baked today.
Yeah. Freshly baked, freshly delivered today.
Thick crust.
Thin
crusty
crust.
shadow.
Thin crust. And my favourite of all is the Shadow Paranormal 2022
Nude calendar.
No, right, so these two want to do a nude calendar.
I don't want to. It's just
Yes, they do.
it's
You
just-
definitely do.
If the market's there, then
Ladies, let us know in the comments if you want
Christmas
these
one.
two to do a nude Christmas calendar, because it's coming.
a nude haunted Christmas
Advent calendar.
Advent calendar. Yeah.
Each month has a different picture with a little scroll and a little bit about of the location and stuff. But yes, some really
These
nice.
will be available within the coming weeks if you'd like to buy one.
Yeah, if you, unfortunately, if you don't win the competition and you don't get yourselves a calendar, we
Yeah,
will
they
still-
will be available if you'd like us to send one out to you. But yeah, what we'd like to do in order to win those lovely goodies is the clip we're about to show you. Let us know what episode and where that particular clip was from. So there we go.
We've had a bunch of answers in already as well, and we're getting a lot of correct ones. So anyone
Just
who's
to make sure, yeah, if you message us on the Shadow Paranormal Facebook page, then
we'll only take the answers from that, because
Yeah.
then we can put them in a hat. Other people won't be able to see them. We'll know they're genuine answers from it. So
yeah.
I'll write your name in, put it into that bucket, and then we'll draw at the end.
Yeah,
Yeah, we'll have a quick draw.
Okay, so here we go. We're going to run the competition clip. Right, here we go.
Who are you? We know there is someone here in this room and in this fort.
Oh, I'll run a promo for Finley as well, just at the end.
What was that?
Move your infrared light.
We'll hurry that in.
No, the noise.
Last bit, yeah.
Someone definitely just fucking walks that way.
Outside?
Yeah, a black shadow. That's why I thought it was the.
No, this
reflecting off-
doesn't let off any light.
Right, so where
Where was it?
Where
is
was
that
it?
from? Yeah, as we said, send any of your correct answers to the page, not to the chat. So the actual Facebook page, that will get you in the
Did
entry.
you see that?
What?
The way he was just stroking
Yeah,
the
it was a bit
nose.
weird, wasn't it?
That was a bit weird.
I just you were sitting there.
Get your names in quick. I'll write
Yeah.
them down. We'll put them in. We will draw this competition in. What's the time? We're going to be
It's about 10 minutes.
10 to 15
8
minutes. We'll run through the rest of the questions now as well.
Yeah.
Slightly early because we are in a bit of a rush. We've got to head off after
Yeah,
this.
I'm really surprised at how well this has gone. We'll do another live stream.
Oh, yeah.
We're gonna
in the near
do-
future.
It's only a possibility, a Christmas special.
Yeah.
I like the idea of that because I like the idea of dressing up again. It's fun.
Yeah, I'll do better next time.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, we could potentially do one at Christmas. It's great that
not
everyone's
in
joined
the
us
new
so
year,
far.
no.
Yeah, maybe do it after we've put some new episodes out so we can
Yeah.
discuss them. I think that would be good. But yeah,
Right.
Next question.
Okay, so we've got questions and we've got comments and
Yeah.
stuff. So we've got PJ Jones. I think Santon Church is possibly your best location. Do you think?
it's the very first visit when myself and Sophie went.
Mm.
I think that was absolutely outstanding then.
Oh, yeah,
Um,
But I think visits since then, I don't want to say have gone downhill, but
they've
it's
got-
not
they've
been.
gone downhill.
They've gone down. They've not been the same energy.
No,
and atmosphere
it's
to me,
yeah,
so-
that first visit with the EVP and the voices coming from the back of the church.
And the figure, I saw like
Yeah,
this
yeah,
like
you saw,
monk
like, a
figure
whole
in the it
person
was.
there,
But again, that was like peripheral
Yeah,
vision. So
like all of that, but then since then it's subsequent visits. It's kind of just become another haunted place. But
Yeah.
certainly, that if it was always like it was on that first visit, then that would be.
That would be
cool.
the
But
best,
I heard the other day that I think they're stopping investigations there, and I think they're getting a key made to keep people out at night. So
Usually that place is open all the time.
yeah, it was quite a good place. But I think it's a case of, as usual, like one idiot has ruined it for everyone. But
yeah.
yeah, maybe hopefully we can get back in there in the future.
Another one from my mum. Do you think
Hi, Mum.
certain people are more able to see ghosts than others? That'd be the same people who are seers or people who are mediums, psychics.
Clairvoyant type thing. I think it depends how open you are to things. I mean,
Yeah, it depends on your susceptibility.
yeah, it's like everything we see in the world around us, we naturally try and rationalise
Yeah.
to fit in our understanding of physics. And I suppose you just, certain people, be it by choice, be it by training themselves, learn to kind of see things as they are rather than in a rationalised kind of way to make sense of things.
I think there might literally just be a case of there's people who've got better eyesight than others, people who've got a better sense of smell than others.
Yeah,
It's just people who've got a different sense of being able to pick up
and it's
stuff
also
like that.
your different perspective.
Perspective.
Yeah.
Sorry, it's getting past my bedtime.
Suspective.
Perspective. So like, you know, one person might have that open-mindedness, whereas like my partner, for example, doesn't really believe in spirits and, you know, all of that. So he would be quite closed off.
Yeah.
So do you know what I mean? So it's like, if you're
Someone
open,
pops into mind as well for that.
yeah.
I say my dad is like,
Yeah.
my dad has some of the creepiest stories that I've heard as far as a paranormal, but he will just
You'll-
refuse
yeah.
to.
Yeah, I suppose it's if you don't want to see it, you won't see it. I guess
Yeah.
it comes down to.
Seeing is believing.
But then again, it's not like it's not seeing something and things that aren't there as well. There's a nice middle ground to fall in.
Yeah, I think it's always good to have a balance with
Yeah.
that.
Yeah, you fall over otherwise.
Yeah. Mary says, has anything ever followed you home?
So, we probably, I don't know if we admit to doing it, but we all say a little thing, don't we, of like, you know, spirits, please stay here,
yeah.
don't follow us home,
Yeah,
Johnny.
that's more peace of mind.
Yeah. Whether or not that actually works, who knows, but I've never experienced anything
No,
follow me home.
I never have.
I've had a torch attached to the car follow us home.
Yeah.
But other than that, no.
It's like, I don't think, I mean, I think it could happen. People claim to have had it happen, but in nearly 10 years, like, I don't think we've had, well, personally,
To
had
be honest,
instance
of all the stuff we've experienced, I'm surprised we haven't had anything follow us
Yeah.
home.
Well, that's
But then
what
the
my mum
thing
says.
I always think is like, would you? We're not. You've got to be really interested in a person to want to follow them, and it's like these people.
Yeah, we're not the most
It's
interesting
like you
of
think
people,
how
really.
well no, but it's like you think how many people come and visit these haunted
Yeah.
places, and it's like why would they choose to follow you in particular? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's how I see it anyway. But
We'll have to rattle these off quick because
Yeah.
we're running out of time. Calandra says, have you ever do you think, start that again, have you think that ghost voices can be picked up on audio recorders, or do you think it's all down to audio pareidolia?
yeah, definitely they can be.
That's coming back to
Well,
the
yeah, we've
sound matrixing, audio
Yeah.
matrixing within
Yeah.
windows and stuff.
No, I mean we've certainly recorded
Yeah,
voices
yeah.
that are genuine. Actual
unexplainable
vocal,
voices.
yeah. It's like it's certain times you'll record stuff and you think, oh well, it could be, you know, a bit of something else, and we're interpreting it as a voice. But there's been unquestionably times where we have recorded in actual voices.
Yeah.
We have PJ Jones. My other half experienced having a person in quotations constantly with him from being a child, and poltergeist type phenomena followed him around. Occasionally, still happens. Jack says, thank you, that makes sense. I saw a YouTube video recently of someone who swore in fright on a ghost hunt in a graveyard that the spirit box said disrespectful. So I mean, again, it comes down to sort of individual interpretation.
Yeah.
Peter Jones, invisible to everyone. I was carrying on from having an entity following around, invisible to everyone else, but if you asked where she was in the room, a huge bang would come from that location.
Well, so I think just as locations can be haunted, I think some people can
Can
have
be
stuff.
haunted.
Yeah.
Different. Again, like I talk from more of it on like a sort of a cult level. It could be there are things as far as in like a cult literature and a cult knowledge of different entities that can be attached to people. Whether they're ghosts is up for debate, but there's definitely sort of different entities that can sort of be manifested from the point of birth, potentially, that accompany a person throughout their life,
That's
such
like
as
what I
guardian
said.
angels.
Like, you
things
know,
that.
you move house loads of times, but spirit like hauntings and paranormal activity will still keep happening no matter where you live.
Yeah, because it's attached to the person. World of David Wood, fantasy and folklore art. Alright, question. Do you think you have ever brought anything back with you following an investigation? We've had this one quite a few times tonight already. Which we both said.
Yeah, both.
No.
I think we'll all agree nothing has ever followed us. And it's like you said, when we leave a place, we'll just say, we ask any spirits remain here.
Please stay here, we'll contact you.
And I don't think that would do anything, because let's face it, if they wanted to follow us, they would.
Yeah.
But it's just peace of mind, the reason I say it. But
well, it helps us sleep at night, doesn't
yeah,
it?
yeah,
Really?
you've done all you can.
Yeah, you've tried your best.
Another one from World of David Wood. And have you ever thought of bringing an animal with you on investigations? They say they see more than we do.
The only animals I've got is a hamster. You've got a dog,
but he's
and
terrified
he's
of
got wood stick things.
Stick insect.
Stick insect.
No, it used to. It's dead now.
Oh, okay, never mind. So, yeah, it depends. I mean, we could bring Rodney.
You bet he's absolutely scared of
but
anything.
he is, bless him.
Yeah, it'd be just
terrified.
Thrown. It'd be like worse than people that are jumping at their own shadow.
Yeah, no, he wouldn't be up
But
for that.
I do like watching videos of where animals react to certain things.
If we had a suitable animal, then we'd be up for it. I think it'd be an interesting.
If you could have an animal that could communicate humanly, that would be nice.
Could dress Adam up as a dog. So we've got one from Jack. I've been to Kelvedon Hatch, very weird atmosphere. Something weird about being underground and all that. Yeah, definitely got that one.
We've said that before, haven't we? About where it's so far underground it can affect
it's just like being shut
atmosphere.
off from the world as well.
Got one from Vicky saying, excellent idea. I can't remember what that would actually be to on this, but thank you. Jack says, I gotta go guys, thanks for doing this live stream tonight, it's been great, keep up the good work and I always enjoy watching your videos.
Yay!
Cheers Jack for that. Peter Jones, shame if they lock it up. I'm going to talk about Santa Church. Calandra, how you say your name. Will you be doing anything for Halloween, Sam Hain? As in tomorrow.
Halloween Sunday, but never mind.
Yeah, Sunday. Yeah.
So.
Well, I'm thinking tomorrow. For tomorrow, I'm having a little Halloween.
Yeah.
We've got all like individual Halloween parties, and then.
I'm working Sunday night, so I can't do it.
I'm taking my little girl trick or treating, but Luke could probably just be at home reading a book with his Horlicks.
Yeah, I've done that pretty much.
Like
I'm not getting anything planned really. I'm sure I'll find something.
You'll probably be at home writing scripts for new episodes.
Or editing.
Editing usually.
Yeah, that's probably going to be it. But
and then we're going to have the final one for tonight from PJ Jones. We found that if you talked about the activity we're experiencing and concentrated on it, more would happen. But could have been because we were focusing on it. We've actually had that happen before a lot of times.
Yeah.
When you start talking about stuff that's happened at a place, and then that's what kind of entices it out.
Yeah.
Bizarre.
It's almost
it's going like, hey, why aren't you paying attention?
Yeah, it's almost like acknowledging it kind of encourages it.
Yeah.
Not acknowledging it encourages it.
We've had that as well. Like it suddenly realises that you're not paying attention to it.
We start talking between ourselves, and then it's like over here.
Yeah. Bang, bang, bang.
It suddenly wants to chip in.
Yeah.
Right, I think we're probably going to have to round it up now because it's 8 o'clock.
Have we got any more responses?
That's the end of the questions
to the quiz
for now. Oh, for the quiz. Good point. We need to do the draw.
We do.
Yes.
We've built this whole thing up. We can't.
Have you written all the names down?
I've got the names in there.
Yeah.
If there's anyone who is still watching the stream that wants to enter the competition, ping us a message now.
Literally right now, this second, do it. Want to be hearing that ping.
Yeah. I'm now checking the Facebook, so we'll give you a couple minutes.
Insert awkward silence.
Actually, tell you what, while they're doing this, I can tell you about...
Yeah, James has got his own little project thing.
How did you find it? I can't find the message.
Yeah, he's got his own little project thing that we're kind of going to promote through the Shadow Paranormal page. And so, yeah.
Yeah, just quick, shameless self-promotion. I've got a video project that I've been working on since the start of this year. So it's coming up on
It's been a long time, hasn't
coming
it?
up on 10 months.
That's mostly my fault.
And mostly... yeah, it is.
Because he'll message me and I've done like a few voice parts for it, and he's gone, have you done it yet? And I'm like, yeah.
So I've got this video project I've been working on. It's called The Distortionist, and it's going to be an animated video series, kind of in the style of like those early PlayStation 1 horror games, like Resident Evil, that sort of look to the whole thing. I've only started relearning how to do 3D animation this year, and literally from the case of the start of this project, relearning it all the way to now. So things are getting faster moving with subsequent episodes. But episode 1 is finally finished from the start of this week. It took 10 months to put together and to plan everything, record the audio. These two are both in it doing voice acting work. I'm doing voice acting work as well. There's a whole bunch of people that have helped out with it and have assisted in the production of the thing. And it should be going live tomorrow from 6 PM. I have a trailer that I can show you now on here, just to give you a taste of what you'll be in for, I guess.
Are you going to do like a warning? You know, is there explicit content?
Nah, should be fine.
Warning, it might be a bit weird.
Nothing more than what we've already had tonight, to be honest.
Yeah.
So it's not another Dobby.
Yeah, just to say as well, so if you want to watch the episode as it comes out, it will be on BitChute, Odyssey. I've got links to the actual websites on my Instagram page, which is at Psyops Interactive. You'll see the name of it on screen now. Psyops Interactive, all one word. If you have a look on the posts I'm putting up today, there's links to them there, so you can go check it out. Tomorrow at 6 PM, here's the trailer. Tomorrow, 6 PM. Of course, this will be going
we're
live.
sharing the links across all our social
As I said, on
medias.
BitChute, Odyssey, links will be on the posts that will be on the Instagram, which is at Psyops Interactive. Right, we'll check just one more look on there
Let's
to see if
check.
we've had any more fruit, and then we will do the draw.
I think you should draw it, seeing as you're the leader. Although you don't like being called the leader, do you? We are a team. We are a team.
Team player.
Team player.
Are we ready?
I think we're ready. I think that's going to be all the entries
Right.
that we in.
Okay,
that's
then.
it. Competition closed. Let's reveal.
The winner.
Hang on.
Check
Yeah,
the
that's it.
last minutes,
I'm
right.
attached.
Is you attached to that, guys?
The winner of the competition, winning lovely prizes.
Oh.
Get the cobwebs off.
There you go. Bit dusty.
Still got a bit on.
Is
Should we say it together? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Sam Smith!
So you can come and collect the stuff. We'll be here till late. Oh no, don't worry. Send us your details in a message.
Yes, private messages on the
and
Facebook.
We'll get that sent over to you. Let us know what size T-shirt you want as well. Mugs, unfortunately, only in one size. But
I have like massive mugs as well here, so I have to make some
a tiny one as well.
big mugs.
But yeah, that is it. Well done, Sam Smith.
Yeah. Thanks so much for
Yes.
joining us on this live tonight. This is like one of our big firsts, you know.
This is,
and
yeah, the first we've put this all together within the last couple of weeks. So I
Yeah.
hope you've enjoyed what we've been
I
working
mean,
on.
I've enjoyed it. You enjoyed it?
I loved it.
You
We'll
loved
do
it?
another one.
We will
We'll do
definitely do
another
another
one.
one.
Hopefully around Christmas.
Yeah, organise a date. So thanks very much,
Yeah.
guys. Thanks for
Shall
watching.
we leave with a trailer for our new series?
Oh,
Yes.
yeah,
Let's finish
we'll
with
end
the
on that.
trailer.
This is going to be coming out
just
next
seeing
month.
the comments on here as well. Thanks everyone who's been following along, commenting and stuff.
Yeah, thanks for joining and getting involved. It's been great. talking
Thanks
to
for all
Yeah.
the lovely
everyone.
comments about my little projects as well. So hopefully we'll watch that tomorrow when it comes out. We'll now show you the trailer for.
Can I just give a big shout out to Luke's mum and dad, hi, and James's mum and dad, hi, and my mum and dad, hi. There you go.
all the family?
All the family. It's been
It's a
nice because
family
our parents
organisation.
are so like supportive of what
Yeah.
we do.
Yeah,
You know?
they don't have to be.
No, it's nice. Anyway, here's the trailer for our new series.
Enjoy.
I feel like I've got more of that feeling like turn around and you're going to see something.
I don't know what you mean, like I'm waiting for something to pop up out the windows or something.
I was expecting the windows.
Oh boy! A massive like black shadow just walked past that window.
Footsteps.
I forget how many places we went to.
Love the shots of these.
Yes.
You know there's someone here.
That was like a...
Right.
And with that,
We are out. So,
we are out.
bye. Happy Halloween.
Happy
Halloween.
Halloween.